Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Port Allegany's gym as we have Port Allegany's Dig Pink Night with the opposition being the Northern Potter Lady Panthers. Starting lineups for the Gators. Number 8, Alyssa Turner. Number 10, Elena McCurvey. Number 11, Isla Lehmeyer. Number 12, Willow Sowers. Number 5, Maddie Eric. Number 22, Bryn Evans. The libero for the Gators tonight is number 20, Gracie Donovan. Northern Potter starters will be number 17, Allison Lewis. Number 20, Dakota Lampman. Number 19, Harley Thompson. Number 16, Nevaeh Kyle. And number 3, Nevaeh Simonetti. Also number 12, Sarah Reisner. All right, back to serve for the Gators is number 10, Elena McCurvey. Three ball over, up, Evans. Swing by number 8, Alyssa Tanner. Tip by Northern Potter, point. 1-0 Northern Potter. Back to serve, number 12, Sarah Reisner. Into the net, 1-1. Serving now for Port Allegany, southpaw, number 12, Willow Sowers. Three ball over by number 16, Kyle. Set. Swing by number 5 for Port Allegany. Maddie Eric out. Point Northern Potter. Back to serve for Northern Potter. Number 17, Allison Lewis. Up by Sowers. Three ball over by Tanner. Falls on Northern Potter side. 2-2. Back to serve for Port Allegany. Number 22, Bryn Evans. Evans a serve. Over. Up by Evans. Lehmeyer. Tanner with a tip. Doesn't make it. 3-2 Northern Potter. Northern Potter with the service. Back to serve for Northern Potter. Number 20, Dakota Lampman. Lampman's handled by Gracie Donovan. Out. 4-2 Northern Potter. Lampman again at the service line. Sowers up. Point Northern Potter. Donovan with the up. Pushed over. Out and off the hands of Maddie Eric. 6-2 Northern Potter. Service again. Rotation violation on Port Allegany. 6-2. 7-2, Northern Potter. Lampman again at the line. Sowers with the up. Evans sets. 3-ball over by Lehmeyer. 3-ball over for Northern Potter by Simonetti. Falls to the ground for a point. 8-2 Northern Potter, game 1. Lampman serve. Up by Lehmeyer. Into the net. Point. 9-2 in favor of Northern Potter. Port Allegany's coach Josh Nelson calls a timeout. For the Northern Potter fans, I apologize. I'm trying to get all your names in as soon as I can. I know the Port Allegany girls more from doing the game, so apologize to Northern Potter fans. 9-2, game 1. Again, tonight is Dig Pink night for Port Allegany, Cancer Awareness, month of October. Northern Potter back out on the floor. Dakota Lampman back again to serve. I believe Lampman has 5 service points so far in this run. Donovan up. Evans with the set. Swing by Lehmeyer. In. Point, Port Allegany 9-3. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 8, Alyssa Tanner. End of the game for Port Allegany for the libero, Elena McCurvey. Served by Tanner up. 3-ball over by Northern Potter. McCurvey with a dig out of bounds. 10-3 Northern Potter. Back to serve for Northern Potter. Number 19, Harley Thompson. Lehmeyer up. Evans with the push. 3-ball over by Simonetti. Evans with the set. 3-ball over. Lehmeyer set for Evans. McCurvey with the swing. Down, good. 10-4. McCurvey with the swing from the left side. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 5, Maddie Eric. Eric serve. Ace. Off the hands of number 17, Allison Lewis. 10-5. Port Allegany trailing and with the serve. Dug by 17. Lehmeyer up. Evans with a nice save over. 3-ball up. Swing. 3-ball over by Simonetti. Sowers with the tip. Still alive. Lehmeyer with a joust at the net. Won by Lehmeyer. Point, Port Allegany, 10-6. Eric back at the service line again. Eric serve, handled by the libero, number 2. 3-ball over. Evans sets. Swing by Sowers. Kill for Sowers. Ball goes down. 10-7. Port Allegany trailing by 3, but with the serve. Eric again. Service up, off the wall, played again, but out. 10-8. Port Allegany now down 2. Timeout, Northern Potter. We'll take a timeout with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. Port Allegany has cut into a 10-2 lead, 10-3 lead that Northern Potter had. It is now 10-8. At the service line, Maddie Eric, number 5. Eric's serve is up, handled by libero number 2. I don't have her name, I apologize. Tipped by Lemeyer over. Simonetti over. Evans with a deep push for the point. 10-9. Port Allegany battled back, down 6. Now has a lead, only cut down, only trails by 1. Eric again set to serve. Eric's serve hits the net, falls to the floor on the Northern Potter side, tied 10-10. Eric, 7 straight service points. Eric serve again, a little long. I jinxed her. 7 service points in a row, and I jinxed her. Back to serve for Northern Potter, number 19, Nevaeh Kyle. Sorry, 16, Nevaeh Kyle. Up by Tanner. 3 ball over by Sowers. Swing dug by Sowers. Evans with a push. Didn't get over the net. Point Port Allegany. Now tied 11-11. Back to serve, number 11, Isla Lemeyer. Leemeyer's serve. 3 ball over by number 12. Don't have that name here. Apologies. Point Port Allegany. Simonetti missed the spike. Lemeyer with an ace. 13-11. Port Allegany was down 10-3, now up 13-11. Lemeyer serve. 3 ball by Simonetti. In. Ruled out. Ruled out. 14-11 Port Allegany. Lemeyer again. Didn't like the serve. We'll do it again. You're allowed 1 try. If you don't like your throw up, you can bring it back down. Lemeyer, good move. Ace inside the back corner. 15-11. Lemeyer serve again. Evans with the up. Lemeyer set, swing by McCurvey. Dug. 3 ball now into the net. 16-11 Port Allegany, now up 5. Lemeyer service again. Ace for Lemeyer. Deflected off a Northern Potter player into the crowd. 17-11. Joust at the net. 18-11. Leemeyer's service into the net. 18-12. Northern Potter trailing by 6. Now with the serve. Number 3, Nevaeh Simonetti. Dug by Tanner. Push over by Leomeyer. Push again. Tanner with the dig. Leomeyer with the set. Evans with the 3-ball over. 3-ball by number 12. Still don't have the name to put with the number. Big swing by McCurvey goes long. 18-13. Port Allegany up 5. Northern Potter now serving. Back at the line again. Salmonetti. Up by Tanner. Leomeyer. Evans with the swing. Out. 18-14. Evans out. Leomeyer set. Evans again with the swing. Ball hit the floor in front of a diving Tanner. In front of a diving Matty Eric. Port Allegany up 18-15. Northern Potter serving. Evans sets. Leomeyer with a one-handed tip. Still kept alive. No good. 19-15. Port Allegany now with a 4-point lead. Back to serve for Port Allegany. Coming in back into the game, libero Gracie Donovan. Donovan serve. Point. Dug but hit out. 20-15. Port Allegany now up 5. Donovan service again. Again out. 21-15. Donovan didn't have the distance that time. 21-16. Port Allegany up 5 with Northern Potter serving, trailing by 5. Back to serve for for Northern Potter, number 12, Sarah Reiser. Ace. 21-17. Reiser back again. Out. 22-17. Sowers back to serve for Port Allegany. Substitute in number 19. Sowers is ace. 23-17. Port Allegany now up 6. Sowers again back to serve. Joust at the net. Won by Northern Potter. Quickly back over by Port Allegany, making it game point. 24-17. Port Allegany. Sowers to serve for the win in game 1. Sowers to serve. Point. That's game 1 to Port Allegany. 25-17. Port Allegany came back after being down 10-3 to win 25-17. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Hey, we're back. Of course, my buddy Dan Funk up here checking to make sure everything's all right. Dan's got the night off. Again, we are asking if anybody wants to volunteer. Get a hold of myself or Dan. We're always looking for volunteers to help. Pretty tough to do it with a three-man team. Like for 2 years, I've been doing both wrestling, basketball, and the winter sports. We're always looking for help. Service up. Evans over with a 3-ball. Northern Potters 3-ball out. 1-0 Port Allegany. Again, I'm struggling with the numbers I was given and the names for Northern Potter. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 10, Elena McCurvey. McCurvey serve. 3-balled over. Up by Eric. Evans with the 3-ball over. Point. McCurvey serve. Ace. 3-0. Kirby back again. Service up. 3-balled over. Up by Eric. Big swing by Evans for the kill. In. 4-0 Port Allegany. McCurvey serve again. Point Port Allegany 5-0. Kirby serve. 3-ball into the net. 5-0 Port Allegany. We'll take a timeout as Northern Potter takes their first time out of the second game. All right, we're back. McCurvey back at the line to serve. Going on a string of 5 service points. 6 for McCurvey now. Big swing, dug by Tanner, set by Lehmeyer. Evans with the kill. 8-0 Port Allegany. And Kirby serve again. Dug out of the barrel, number 2. In the net by Northern Potter. 9-0. Kirby with a knuckleball. 3-ball over. Hits in. point, Northern Potter. Northern Potter trailing 9-1. Back to serve for Northern Potter, number 17, Allison Lewis. Serve up, Tanner with the up, Lehman. Big swing by Tanner. Evans, Lehman. Tanner, or Evans with a 3-ball over. Evans up, Lehman's over with a 3-ball. Kept alive, Northern Potter can't get it over, 10-1. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 12, Willow Sowers. Sowers at the line. No good. Northern Potter serving. Back to serve for Northern Potter, number 20, Dakota Lampman. Donovan with the up. Lemaire set. Pushed by Eric. 3-ball hit out by Northern Potter, 11-2. Bryn Evans back to serve for Port Allegany. Evans to serve, ace, 12-2. Evans with another ace, 13-2. Evans again with another ace. 3 aces in a row for Evans. Sub in now for Port Allegany, coming into the game, number 6, Haley Thomas. Thomas replaces number 5, Maddie Eric. Evans to serve. Hits the top of the net. Hits the tape, falls in, 4 aces in a row for Evans. 15-2 now, Port Allegany. Evans' serve. 3-ball over. Donovan up. Evans sets. 3-ball over by Tanner. Falls to the ground. 16-2. Port Allegany with the point. Evans 4 straight streaks of aces snap, but Port Allegany still gets a point. Evans back again with one that hits a tape. Evans gets it up. Lehman. Evans with the 3-ball over. Joust. Lehman back over. Sowers with the up. Evans sets. Lehman with the swing. That's long. 16-3. Port Allegany up 13 with Northern Potter serving. Back to serve for Northern Potter, number 19, Harley Thompson. Thompson serve. Lehman up. Over by Tanner. Joust at the net, won by Lehman. 17-3. Sorry, Lehmeyer. Back to serve, Tanner. Alyssa Tanner serve. 3-balled over. Evans sets up McCurvey. McCurvey with the swing for the kill. 18-3. Service up by Tanner. Another ace for Port Allegany. 19-3. Now coming in the game for Port Allegany, number 17, Sabrina Reed. Reed comes in for Willow Sowers. Tanner at the service line. point, Port Allegany, 20-3. Sub coming in for Northern Potter. That is number 8. Reagan Slauson comes in for Northern Potter. Tanner serving ace, 21-3. Tanner serve again. 3-ball over. Up by McCurvey. Not over. Point. Northern Potter. Northern Potter serving. Down 17, 21-4. Back to serve for Northern Potter. Number 16, Nevaeh Kyle. Evans up. 3-ball over by Laymeyer. Serve. Set. Dug by Tanner. Evans sets up McCurvey. McCurvey hit. Ends up for a kill. Makes it 22-4 in favor of Port Allegany. Back to serve for Port Allegany. Number 6, Haley Thomas. Thomas at the service line. Ace for Thomas, 23-4. Thomas back again. Sub coming in for Northern Potter. Coming out is Allison Lewis. Now in is number 10, Caden Brown. Brown with a dig. Thomas with the up. No good. 23-5. Back to serve for Northern Potter, number 3, Nevaeh Simonetti. Dug by Lehman. Evans sets. Swing no good by number 17, Sabrina Reed. Ball goes out, 23-6. Kyle. Thomas up by Evans. Still can't get it over. 23-7. Simonetti back to serve again. Tanner up. Evans. No good. 23-7. 23-8. Port Allegany up 15. Served by Simonetti, didn't have the distance. 24-8. Game and match point for Port Allegany. Laymeyer with the serve. That's a game for Port Allegany. Port Allegany wins game 2, 25-8. Sweeps Northern Potter 2-0 in the JVs. We'll be back in about 20 minutes. I'll make it 15 for the start of the varsity game. See you in 15. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back as we're getting ready for the varsity game of Port Allegany's Dig Pink Night tonight. Starters for the visiting Northern Potter Panthers. Number 12, Sarah Reiser. Number 8, Reagan Slauson. Number 13, Molly Cady. Number 10, Caden Brown. Number 1, Haley Chapman. And number 11, Rebecca Martin. Starters for the Port Allegany Gators. Number 5, Leah Nelson. Number 7, Ella Moses. Nelson, a senior, Moses, a sophomore. Number 8, freshman Jenna Renner. Number 9, junior Kalia Dowell. Number 10, senior Madison Smith. And number 11, junior Kyla Andriano. Libero for the Gators is number 21, junior Amber Funk. We get ready for the playing of the national anthem. Now the playing of the national anthem. Okay, we're set. Public address announcer to announce the starters. Again, we went over the starters. Northern Potter, number 12, Sarah Reiser. Number 8, Reagan Slauson. Number 13, Molly Cady. Number 10, Caden Brown. Number 1, Haley Chapman. And number 11, Rebecca Martin. Port Allegany starters, senior, number 5, Leah Nelson. Sophomore, number 7, Ella Moses. Freshman, number 8, Jenna Renner. Junior, number 9, Kalia Dowell. Senior, number 10, Madeline Smith. Junior, number 11, Kyla Andriano. And libero for the Gators, number 21, junior Amber Funk. I believe libero for the Northern Potter Panthers will be number 5. Nevaeh Kyle, I believe, is a libero. Okay, we're set. Announcements all made. Teams line up to shake hands at center court or the net. Port Allegany will serve first. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 5, Leah Nelson. Nelson back at the service line. Northern Potter ready to receive. Southpaw Nelson serve is up. Ace for Nelson. Serves out. 1-1. Back to serve number 8, Regan Slauson. Dahl with the up. Overpass. Kill by number 13, Molly Cady. 2-1 Northern Potter. Slauson up by Smith, set. Dowell with the swing. Ball over, hit the net, rolled up and over, fell on Port Allegany's side. Point Northern Potter. Smith with a big swing, dug by number 12, Reiser. Service up. Swing by number 8, Renner. 3 ball over, Renner. Dowell with a tip, not over, 4-1. Northern Potter out in front early. Slauson again back. Moses up, overpass again, kept alive by Smith. Nelson sets up the swinging Andriano for the kill. 4-2 Northern Potter with the lead. Port Allegany now serving. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 8, Jenna Renner. Renner serve, ace. Renner again at the service line. Three ball over. In. 5-3 Northern Potter with the lead in the serve. Back to serve for Northern Potter, number 1, Haley Chapman. Chapman serve. Moses with the dig. Moses again. Dowell sets up. Big swing by Smith. Still alive. Katie tries to tip it over into the net. 4-5, Port Allegany. Back to serve for Port Allegany. Number 9, Kalia Dowell. Katie with the swing. Funk with a dig. No one there to get it. Point, Northern Potter. Back to serve for Northern Potter now. Number 13, Molly Katie. Northern Potter up 6-4. Funk. Nelson. Big swing by Smith for the kill. 6-5 Northern Potter. Back to serve for Port Allegany. Number 11, Kyla Andriano. Andriano serve. Dug by 8. Kept alive as it hit the center stanchion. Smith with a swing. With a cut down the line. 6-6, all tied up. Andriano again. Fossen with the up. Roofed by number 7, Ella Moses. 7-6. Andriano again at the service line. Another overhit. Tipped. Number 10, Brown off the block. Attempt of Smith for the point. 7-7. Back to serve now. Number 10, Caden Brown. Brown serve. Dowell with the up. Andriano. Dowell with the swing. Kept it alive. Again, another nice play. Pushed over by Brown. Swing by Smith. It's down. Kill for Smith. 8-7. Libero out. Joust at the net. Won by Port Allegany. 9-7. Okay, Libero back in. Andriano out. Smith with a serve. Nelson keeps it alive. Moses with a joust. Nelson up. Moses with a tip. In for the point, 10-7. Smith again at the service line. Into the net, kept alive. Hit the center stanchion again. Point to Port Allegany as Martin with the air for Northern Potter. Moses again, Martin with a dig. Number 11 with the kill for Northern Potter, Rebecca Martin. Sorry, it was Chapman. Martin with the kill. 11-8. Served by Reiser. Renner with the tip attempt. No good. 11-9. Reiser back again to serve. Smith with the up. Nelson sets up. Big swing by Renner, but out. 11-10. Northern Potter down 1. Reiser again at the service line. Funk with the up. Moses. Cut shot by Renner. Tip. Big swing by number 8. Ruled in. 11-11. Swing was by Slauson. 11-11. Service into the net by Reiser. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 7, Ella Moses. Port Allegany up 12-11. Moses serve. Dug by Chapman. Swing by number 12, Reiser out. Moses back again. 13-11. Ace for Moses. Off the hands of Chapman. 14-11 Port Allegany. Moses hits the net, stays alive, joust with Dowell. And Chapman called for in the net, making it 15-11 Port Allegany. Riser up. Tip by Chapman off of Nelson. Good for the point, Northern Potter. Martin back to serve. Dowell with a tip. Good. 16-12 Port Allegany now in front by 4. Back to serve. Leah Nelson. Southpaw at the service line. Service is up by Riser. Set up. Good swing by Renner for the kill. 17-12. Timeout. Northern Potter trailing by 5. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. Nelson back at the service line. Port Allegany up 17-12, game 1 of this Northern Tier League volleyball game. Nelson serve. Brown set. Big swing by Katie. 3-balled over by Dowell. Again, swing by number 1, Chapman. Chapman puts it away. Northern Potter has now cut the lead to 4. Back to serve for Northern Potter, number 8, Reagan Slauson. Dowell. Nelson. Swing by Andriano. No good. 17-14, Port Allegany. Slauson again into the net. 18-14. Back to serve Renner. Renner with the ace for Port Allegany, now 19-14. 5-point lead. Renner again to serve. Kept alive by number 11, Martin. No one from Northern Potter could get to the up ball. 20-14, Port Allegany increases the lead to 6. Renner again to serve. Up by Chapman, no good. 21-14, Port Allegany. 7-point lead. Renner again. Still kept alive. 3-ball over by Brown. Nelson sets up Dowell. Dowell's shot out. 21-15. Back to serve from Northern Potter. Number 1, Haley Chapman. Northern Potter down 6. Chapman serve. Moses with the up. Off the antenna, no good. 21-16. Chapman into the net. 22-16. Port Allegany up in game 1 now by 6. Back to serve number 9, Kalia Dowell. Dowell serve, ace. In front of the kick save offered by Reagan Slauson to no avail. 23-16 now coming in for Port Allegany, number 4, Lily Babcock. She comes in for number 11, Kyla Andriano. Dowell serve, ace for Dowell, 24-16. Game point now for Port Allegany as they increase the lead by 8. Dowell serve. Dug by Chapman, set, swing into the net. Game 1 goes to Port Allegany, 25-16. We'll be back in 2 minutes for the start of game 2. Okay, we're back for game 2. Port Allegany won game 1, 25-16. Same starters on the floor. For Northern Potter is Reiser, Slauson, Katie, Brown, Chapman, and Martin. Port Allegany counters with Nelson, Moses, Runner, Dowell, Smith, and Andriano. Serving for now for Northern Potter is number 8, Reagan Slauson. Andriano with the up. Nelson sets up Dowell. Dowell off the tip. Good point, Port Allegany. One nothing serving for Port Allegany. left-hander Leah Nelson. Nelson serve. Riser with the up. Swing by Katie Andriano in an attempt to keep the ball alive. Ought to bounce off of her. 1-1. Serving now, Haley Chapman for Northern Potter. We've got a foot fault called on Chapman on the serve. Foot on the line by the down judge, the down official. 2-1 Port Allegany. Renner now serving for Port Allegany. Over by Chapman. Smith with a tip. 3-1 Port Allegany. Renner back to serve again. Renner serve into the net. 3-2. Funk in for Renner, the libero. Amber Funk now into the game. Katie serve into the net. 4-2. Kalia Dowell at the service line. Dowell with an ace. 5-2 Port Allegany. Dowell again. Up by Carpenter, or up by Chapman. Slauson couldn't keep it alive. 6-2 Port Allegany. Up by Slauson. Over, Nelson with a tip. Andriano, Smith with the over. Big swing by number 10, Brown. Up, Smith with a swing. Down it goes. 7-2 Port Allegany. Smith with a big swing from the left side. Northern Potter takes a timeout, down 5, 7-2. We'll be back in 30 seconds. We're back here. Port Allegany Gymnasium. Dowell back to serve. Port Allegany up 7-2. Port Allegany won game one, 25-16. Dowell serve. Slauson with the dig up. Moses with a swing, blocked by Katie. Jousted to net, still alive. Funk up. Smith with a swing, kill for an ace. 8-2. Smith again doing damage on the left side. Dowell serve. Handled by Chapman. 3-ball over by Martin. Nelson, right side, tipped by Andriano, falls to the floor. 9-2 Port Allegany. Service. Dowell with the up. Nelson sets up Moses in the middle. Tip. Can't get over the net. 9-3. Northern Potter trailing by 6, but with the serve, back to serve for Northern Potter, number 10, Caden Brown. Brown serve. Smith with the up. Nelson with the tip. over tip, double hit on number 11, Martin. Ball kind of tied up in the net, went off of Martin twice. Point Port Allegany. Andriano back to serve now for the Gators. Andriano, 3-ball over by number 8, Slauson. Nelson sets up Moses. Moses with a push. Point, 11-3. Andriano back to serve again. Andriano with the ace. Port Allegany now up 12-3. Andriano still at the service line. Andriano's serve dug by out of bounds by Slauson. 13-3 Port Allegany. Katie with the up, 3-ball over by Reiser. Jousted to net, won by number 11, Rebecca Martin of Northern Potter. Northern Potter now with the serve, down 9, 13-4. Service by Reiser, set. Double hit called on Nelson as she tried to push a ball over on the set. Andriano, Nelson sets up Moses. Moses went with the left hand with a tip for the point. 14-5. Back to serve, Smith. Smith serve dug by Chapman. 3-ball over by Katie. Nelson sets up Moses. Moses again with a tip. 3-ball still kept alive. Renner with the up. Nelson with the back set. Moses with the over. Ball kept alive by Renner. Nelson up. Andriano in no man's land into the net. 14-8 now. Favor of Port Allegany. Back to serve, number 11, Rebecca Martin. Dowell, Nelson sets up a swinging Smith from the back row. Katie with the over in the kill. 14-7. Martin again. Dowell. Nelson sets Moses. Moses with a kill, 15-7. Moses now back to serve for Port Allegany. Again, tonight is Dig Pink night. Moses serve. Kept alive off the riser, but over on the Port Allegany side. Point Port Allegany. Coming into the game now for Port Allegany, number 6, Brianna Hosterman. Hosterman comes in for Moses. Sorry, Hosterman comes in for Andriano. Back to serve now, Slauson for Northern Potter. Moses up, Nelson runs, saves. Tip by Dowell, Slauson to Brown. Swing by Slauson. That's out. 16-8. Port Allegany now up. Nelson back to serve for Port Allegany. Nelson serve. Up by Martin. Set by Brown. Into the net by Katie. 18-8 Port Allegany. Another timeout by Northern Potter. Down 10. Game 2 after losing game 1, 25-16. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. Port Allegany on the floor. Northern Potter coming onto the floor now. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 5, Leah Nelson. Port Allegany up 18-8 in game 2. This after winning game 1, 25-16. Nelson to serve. Dug by Reiser, set, swing by number 1, Chapman, over, swing by number 6, Hosterman for Port Allegany, Nelson, Dowell, Andriano swing, blocked but out of bounds. Point Port Allegany off the block makes it 19-8. Back in now, Funk, out Moses. Libero can come in at any time. Nelson. Kept alive, 3-ball over, Andriano. Nelson sets Andriano. Andriano with a swing, long. 19-9 now. Northern Potter down 10. Haley Chapman to serve. Funk with a dig. Nelson set. Swing by Andriano, kept alive by Slauson. 3-ball by Katie into the net. 20-9 now, Port Allegany. Coming into the game. Number 17, Jocelyn Mirren to serve for Port Allegany. Mirren serve, dug by 1, over by Katie, set. Smith with a swing, hit the top of the net, still alive. Jousted to net, Dowell keeps it alive. Nelson over to Andriano, Andriano off the tip. Again, still alive, Slauson with a push. Dowell with a tip. Past the defending Katie, 21-9 now, Port Allegany. Marine back to serve. Marine serve short into the net, 21-10. Dowell in, Babcock in for Dowell. Served by Katie. Off the tip of Smith. 21-11, Port Allegany. Northern Potter still serving. Molly Katie with the serve. Up by Dowell. Funk. Swing by Nelson. Swing by Smith. No good. 21-12. Katie. Hit the top of the net. Over. Fell for the point. 21-13. Northern Potter has cut the lead to 8. Katie again back to serve. Katie serve played by Smith. Nelson sets up Dowell. Up by Katie. 3-ball over by Brown. Big swing by Smith for the kill. 22-13. Back to serve, Kalia Dowell. Out Funk, in Moses. Again, the libero can substitute at any time. Dowell serve. Kept alive by number 5, Navina Kyle. Up by Marine. Nelson sets up Babcock. Babcock. Chapman keeps it alive. Swing by Reiser. Point Northern Potter, making the score 22-14. Back to serve, number 10, Caden Brown. Smith again set off the tip. Good, 23-14. Port Allegany now up 9. Andriano comes in for Babcock. Andriano back to serve. Dug by Slauson. Slauson with the swing. Kept alive by Dowell. Off of Nelson, out. 23-14. Sorry, 23-15. Port Allegany up 8. Back to serve for Northern Potter, number 12, Sarah Reiser. Marine with a step. Smith with a tip, 24-15. Sub coming in. Back in for Port Allegany. Number 8, Jenna Renner. Out, Jocelyn Marine. Back to serve is Smith. Into the net, 24-16. Northern Powder back to serve, number 11, Rebecca Martin. Game point, Port Allegany. Funk up. Nelson sets up Moses. Dug by Kyle. 3-ball over by Chapman. Moses buries the final point, 25-16. Port Allegany again wins. So game 1 was 25-16. Game 2, 25-16 in favor of Port Allegany. Port Allegany up 2-0. We'll be back in about 2.5 minutes for game 3. Okay, we're back. Nelson back to serve for Port Allegany. Port Allegany up 2-1, winning the first 2 games. Sorry, 2-0, winning the first 2 games, 25-16. Nelson back to serve for the Gators. Same starting 6 for both teams. Nelson serve. Up by Martin, swing by Katie, off, kept alive, not over. Point Northern Potter. Serving, Slauson. Into the net, no good, 1-1. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 8, Jenna Renner. Renner serve. Up by Martin. Double hit called, 2-1 Port Allegany. Renner again. Ace for Renner, 3-1 Port Allegany. Still alive, but out. Ball tipped by Martin into the libero, kept alive and over the net, but went out of bounds. Port Allegany up now, 4-1. Renner serve again, straight up off the ceiling, kept alive by Katie. Push for the point by Smith. 5-1 Port Allegany. Renner serve. Up. Third hit not over. 6-1 Northern Potter. Renner still serving. Renner serve. Straight up. Bad bounce off the ceiling. Falls to Northern Potter side. 7-1. Timeout. Northern Potter trailing 7-1. Game 3. Port Allegany up 2-0 in the third game. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. Renner still with the serve. Port Allegany up 7-1, game 3. Renner serve. Kept alive on Port Allegany's side. 2 hits called. Point Northern Potter, back to serve for Northern Potter. Number 1, Haley Chapman. Chapman with a serve. Smith, Nelson over by Dowell. Katie with the kill. 7-3. Funk. Nelson all the way across for Smith. Her swing goes long. 7-4. Port Allegany still up 3. Northern Potter serving. Chapman again. Funk. Nelson with the back tip. Point Port Allegany, 8-4 now. Sorry. Net called, net violation called. 7-5. Moses, Dowell, Smith with the swing off the middle stanchion, kept alive. Pushed by Brown, kept alive. Swing by Andriano. Up by Chapman. three ball over by Slauson. Funk. Nelson now for Port Allegany. Smith with a big swing and a kill. 8-5 Port Allegany. Dowell back to serve for Port Allegany. Game held up because there's a little wet spot on the floor. Okay, Dowell set to serve now. Chapman with the up. Again, Chapman now with the swing. Funk, Nelson. Middle set to Moses. Didn't get over. 8-6. Port Allegany up 2. Back to serve for Northern Potter. Molly Katie. Katie serve. Off of Nelson, 8-7. Funk. Nelson sets up Smith. Smith with a tip. Jousted to net between Smith and Brown. Still kept alive. Nelson up. Overpass. Moses with a tip over. Swing by number 12, Reiser. Nelson over to Smith. Kept alive by Brown. McDowell up. Moses with a three ball over. Swing by number 12, Reiser. Andriano to Smith. Point. Smith with a kill, making it 9-7. Back to serve for Port Allegany, number 11. Kyla Andriano. Andriano serve. Slauson keeps it up. Swing by Chapman. Smith with a three ball over. Kept alive. Jousted to net. Nelson. No good. Point. Northern Potter 9-8. Back to serve. Brown. Andriano. Off of her and out of bounds. 9-9. Now tied, game 3. Dowell up. Nelson. Swing by Smith. Puts it down, making the score 10-9. Port Allegany. Smith with a serve. Katie kept alive, now over. Three ball over by Martin. Renner. Off of the attempt at Chapman. 11-9 Port Allegany. Smith again back to serve. Smith serve. Up by Slauson, kept alive. Martin. Moses with a kill for Port Allegany, making the score 12-9. Smith again up. Slauson. Slauson with the three ball. Dowell up. Nelson with a set. Moses with the tip on the left hand. Still kept alive. Slauson called for under the net, making a score 13-9 Port Allegany. Smith again. Katie with the return out of bounds, 14-9 Port Allegany. Smith. Ace by Smith. 15-9. Timeout again by Northern Potter. Down 6, game 3. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, we're back. 15-9. Smith with a serve. Slauson with the over. Dow up. Nelson sets up Moses. Moses straight down the middle for the kill. Port Allegany now up 16-9. In comes Libero. Again, Smith with a point, 17-9. Nevaeh Kyle Libero in for Northern Potter. Smith back again at the service line. Up by Chapman into the net, no good. 18-9 Port Allegany now up. Excuse me, Smith again with an ace, 19-9. Smith service out. She had a run of about 8 service points there, trailing 19-10. Reiser with the serve for Northern Potter. Big swing by Renner. 20-10 now. Back to serve for Port Allegany. Ella Moses. Port Allegany up 20-10. Moses with a serve. Up by Chapman. Kept alive by Kyle. 3-ball over. Couldn't be pancaked up by a diving Moses. Point Northern Potter. Back to serve now for Northern Potter. Number 11, Rebecca Martin. Martin. Funk. Nelson. Sets up Renner outside the antenna. Point Northern Potter, making a score 20-12. Moses coming out. Marine coming in. Up by Smith. Renner. Kept alive by Martin. Swing by Slauson. Smith keeps it alive. Renner with the swing. Good. Off the block of Katie and out. Point Port Allegany, 21-12. Port Allegany now up 9. Nelson back to serve for Port Allegany. Nelson serve. Up by Martin. Kept alive. Reiser with the 3-ball over. Renner with the swing. Out. 21-12. Port Allegany now up 9. Back to serve for Northern Potter. Number 8, Reagan Slauson. Slauson serve goes out. 22-13 Port Allegany. Renner back to serve for Port Allegany. Port Allegany up 22-13. Renner serve. Kept alive but couldn't be kept in. Point Port Allegany, 23-13. Sub coming in now. Coming in for Kyla Andriano is number 4, Lily Babcock. Babcock in, Andriano out. Renner serve. Kept alive. Swing by number 12. Reiner, and that's out. Game point, Port Allegany. Back to serve is Renner again. Renner set to serve. Ball up. Nelson keeps it alive. Renner with it up. Babcock with the over. Again, Renner. Nelson looks to set up Babcock. Babcock with the kill to end the game. Port Allegany wins the third game 25-13 and sweeps Northern Potter 3-0. Thank you all for joining us and have a great evening. Good night.